So, Luis, welcome to Los Cerritos Community News. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
How's the campaign going?
Campaign's going great.
Yeah?
You know, just out there doing everything we have to be doing. Talking to the voters, you know, going out there, getting endorsements, attending events, just doing all, you know, doing everything we're supposed to be doing, you know, run a winning campaign.
Well, tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. Well, currently I'm a Downey City Council.
Okay.
Been on the council since 2008.
Right.
I currently represent what we call in Downey, we have districts. I'm the councilman for District 5, which is the only at-large, the citywide seat in the city of Downey.
Okay.
Been, like I said, on the council since 2008. Married to my wife Alma. Have 3 children now. You know, 5-year-old twins, Diego and Maya, and a newborn.
You just had a newborn?
A newborn, Isabella, who was born last Thursday on March 22nd.
So, is this your first time running for higher office?
No, it's not. I ran for the 50th Assembly District at the time in 2010.
That was before they had redistricting.
Before they did redistricting, correct.
So, Luis, talk to me about more things that you've done in Downey since you've been on the city council.
Sure. I mean, Downey, for one thing, is a great city. You know, just very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to live in the city of Downey. About 100, you know, a little bit over 111,000 people, residents there. In 2008, when I got elected, I ran for office for one reason. It was an experience that I had as a resident. You know, as I was trying to do a small remodel right before my wife gave birth to the twins. And through that experience and seeing some of the difficulties as a resident, and that's not just anybody, but someone actually that worked for Senator Lota, so knows the city council, knows the folks there, but to see the difficulties of trying to go through the little bureaucracy of the city of when it came to even a small little remodel project that I had. So I run, get elected, and in 2008 I ran one of the big things that we've done in the past 3 years has just been on a very pro-business, obviously quality of life, pro-public safety platform that we've really been that the city has really been pushing forth. You know, these have been tough economic times, as we know, for all the cities, especially the city of Downey and all the cities in this in the 58th Assembly District. What we've done in Downey is we had a couple of options that we could do. The economy at 2008, we saw the economy start taking the downturn. It was already in the middle of it. We could sit back, you know, cry and mope about how bad the economy is and as a city, try to ride it out, or take a whole different approach. And that was sort of the approach that we took, was a very proactive approach to go out there, reach high, go after businesses, go after great, you know, companies, businesses, and look at ways that we could improve our city. How can we address our infrastructure needs? How can we keep our quality programs for our youth, our seniors? How can we keep our police force completely staffed, our fire department staffed, and all this through these tough economic times?
So why run for the state assembly?
State assembly, pretty much for similar reasons. You know, the 58th Assembly District is a brand new district, as you mentioned earlier, that was put together by the Independent Commission. Encompasses 9 cities: the city of Montebello, Pico Rivera, Commerce, Bell Gardens, Downey, Bellflower, Cerritos, Artesia, and about a third of Norwalk.
Okay.
And what all these cities have in common is that we're all part, you know, what we call the Gateway Cities, or the Gateway City Council of Governments, which is comprised of 27 cities. We're unique in the sense that we have a lot of core issues that we share commonly, especially when it comes to infrastructure, our 710, the 605 freeway, rail, the goods movement from the ports coming out of Long Beach, a lot of stuff that impact us. But one thing that we all share, that we've seen with the economy, that no area has been in, has been the high unemployment rate. You know, and for me, being involved not just on the council in Downey, but being the liaison for the city on the Gateway Council of Governments, on the League of Cities, gives me a chance to interact with each of these cities and sort of understand what the needs are of them. Mm-hmm. And for us, as I tell everyone, I'm running for one simple reason. And that's that to making sure that, as I tell everyone, that when you run for office for assembly, is that you have the responsibility to be responsive to the cities and the residents that you represent. And it's important that when we say that, I mean, you look at it broadly, but it's the one thing that what I've done in Downey is that I'm responsive to the residents that elected me. And I think that's something that our district and our cities have sort of lacked at that level. And these tough times right now, when we have the state budget issues, the economy, when we have a revenue problems, when we have spending problems, when we talk about pensions, when we talk about everything, it's our districts need someone that really understands the cities.
Let's talk about pension reform. You just
Mhm.
mentioned it. Can it be fixed? What would be your plans if you got elected to the assembly, or should you just leave it alone?
No, obviously, when you look at solving all of the state problems, you know, the budget, when you look at our state budget as a whole, you have to look at all the issues, at all departments, at spending, at our retirement system, our employment systems. I mean, in our cities, you know, we're doing it. Obviously, we have to always try to do the best we can to protect the quality services, making sure that the services are being provided by the different agencies, by different departments. The city of Downey, I mean, an example is, you know, we've been working with our employee associations, working closely with them to make sure that we address our budget shortfalls, and making sure that our employees and their representation, that we're at the table together, that we come up with a solution. How can we address it? How can we make our employees, the services and everything be affordable for not just us now, but for the future of our cities and for the state. So it's a combination of working together to really trying to get to it, you know, as we move forward to addressing our pension issues.
So if you get elected, is that going to be one of your big priorities as far as pension reform, or what would be some of the biggest things that you want to go ahead and push forward your first 2 years?
First couple is, number one is obviously you're going up there, you have to be addressing the budget, and you have to be addressing unemployment. Like I said, the 58th district, being part of the gateway cities, is one area that has, you know, above average, close to 14% unemployment rate, and that's not acceptable. So how do we deal? So my number one priority for me is going to be obviously dealing with the jobs. How do we really go out there and retain jobs, bring in quality jobs? How do we, as California, and for me, more importantly, for our district, is how do we make sure that we're able to bring that economic development, and so we have to look at a lot of things. I mean, like I said, in Downey, the way and in the cities here, I mean, you look at Cerritos and Downey as two examples, is you've really gone and looked closely at your policies, at your at some restrictions that might have been there that might have made it more difficult for businesses to come in, and you look at those to making sure that you're not making it difficult or impossible for businesses to come into the state of California or into our areas. So we have to really take a very proactive approach in regards to attracting business and retaining, but not just bringing new businesses, but also protecting our small businesses and bringing in bringing in those larger businesses that will provide a large job base for our district.
Let's shift gears real quick. California open primary, first time that the voters will have the opportunity to go ahead and actually participate in this new type of voting. Do you like it, or do you not like it?
Well, it's one that the voters approved. I think it's going to be, it calls for an interesting primary. You know, I think it's going to be the first time that we're going through it. You know, to see the opportunity that it's top two, you got to look at it in two ways. One, obviously, sometimes in districts that are heavily favoring one party, you have the potential of having two individuals from the same party being in the November election. You know, a lot of the reasons for the open primary were sort of to level the playing field, to allow for others. But when you look at it, it also creates the expense component on it of making campaigns a lot more expensive now. Because to having to say that you could have someone go and just say hypothetically get 90% of the vote.
Yeah.
And still have to run
in the primary
against the second place. Whereas before, you know, we had the system. Yeah, it was party oriented, but you have that 51%.
So do you think you like running this way as somebody who's running before? Do you think is this something that you kind of like doing? How does this campaign compare to your last one?
I think it's you can't compare the two.
You can't compare the two.
It's night and day. Okay. I mean, one, I go into this race with just the overwhelming amount of support. You know, luckily I come from a...
Talk about who you have supporting you.
Sure. There's 9 cities.
Okay.
There's 7 of the 9 mayors have endorsed. The majority of the council members have endorsed.
Okay.
The 3 members of Congress, this is an important one. The 3 members of Congress that represent the area are Congresswoman Lucille Roy-Allard's endorsed, Congresswoman Linda Sanchez has endorsed, and Congresswoman Grace Napolitano have endorsed. Very important endorsements that I'm very proud of to have receive those endorsements. Senator Alan Lowenthal, that covers a large chunk of the district, is also endorsed. Assemblyman Tony Mendoza, that covers the Cerritos, Artesia, Norwalk areas, endorsed as well. And so we've been fortunate with the overwhelming amount of support. What I'm proud of stuff though is just the broad base of support. To have 7 of the 9 mayors, the overwhelming majority of the council folks, a lot of majority of school board members, and everyone and the community members, community leaders come on board, has made this campaign, as what I like to call it, the community's campaign, in the sense that it's the cities. It's all the leadership in these areas saying, you know what, it's time for new leadership. It's time for someone that we work with, someone who has a track record, someone who has done something in this city that we all believe in and trust in and we want to get behind. And to me, you can't be any more prouder of a candidate to go and start a campaign, being a little bit over, what is it, 60 days now, or 65, almost 70, a little bit less than 70 days before
the clock's ticking.
And to come in and put yourself in a position like that know you have all these people behind you, something that makes you proud. And it's not just an and it's important, Randy, that I mentioned this, that these endorsements are not just any endorsement. I mean, they're very high quality, they're the best endorsements you could possibly, but they all come with something. They all come with their help. It's one thing to put someone's name on a piece of paper and then get out there, and it's helpful. But for me to go to say, for example, Mayor Frank Gomez in the city of Montebello, it's not just his endorsement, but it's him reaching out to those that have elected him helping me, connecting me with individuals in the community that I might not know, and just really working closely with my campaign and working with me. Each of the cities, each of these mayors, each of these councils have all committed to doing that. The members of Congress themselves have committed to doing that. So it puts me in a situation that, that one, I'm a person that loves to go out there and talk, meet the voters, meet the local elects, meet the community, groups, attend different events, and it puts me in that unique position to have to starting off with this overwhelming amount of support.
How do you? We've interviewed a couple of your opponents, and we just interviewed Patricia Coates Ramos today. And how is her candidacy? Is that going to have any effect on you, since you guys both come from the same city, and she seems to be pretty community involved as well?
I don't see it that way. I see it more as me really just being focused on our campaign. Okay. Just going out there and talking to the voters. We know the broad base of support that we have. Now it's just making sure that we are able to communicate it to the residents and to all the voters, and making sure that those outside of Downey that might not have had the opportunity to have known of me, that we introduce myself to them and that we tell them about what this campaign is about.
How can people get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you and your campaign?
Well, we have there's several ways. One, we have a website.
Which is?
It's Marquez Ford Assembly, the number 4, MarquezFordAssembly.com.
Can you spell that?
Sure, it's MARQUEZ, number 4, Assembly, ASSEMBLY.com. Okay, try to get
that was not a trick question.
And that's okay. It's for assembly, or they could email me at Luis@MarquezForAssembly.com.
Okay.
And those are the two best ways of being able to get a hold of us.
Do you have a campaign headquarters opened yet?
Yes, we do. We will be opening our headquarters. We're in our headquarters now, but the official kickoff and the headquarters grand opening will be on April 7th.
Okay, and where's that going to be located?
It's going to be in the city of Pico Rivera at 8337
okay.
Telegraph Road, Suite 214 in Pico Rivera, California.
And do you have a telephone number for the headquarters yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, is there anything else you want to add?
No, just like I said, going into this thing, it's for me, this campaign, the great thing, that it is a grassroots people's campaign. It's one where it's everyone unifying together behind our candidacy to bring new leadership to this district, to bring someone that really understands what impacts when you do away with redevelopment, when you do away with these cuts that are going to impact our most vulnerable communities, our most vulnerable residents. We're cutting education. There's significant impacts to that, and people are going to suffer, and people are hurt, and cities hurt. And cities like in this particular, is to have a city like the city of Cerritos, who's seen the importance of redevelopment and what it could do to a community, and then come and take such a viable program from our cities, or a viable tool to be able to attract businesses. It's stuff that encourages me to want to run and really motivates me to run, that making sure that we get someone up there that's really going to be an advocate and a fighter for these cities and for the residents of the 58th.
Now, you also, just real quick, you also work for Senator Lowenthal, correct?
I used to work for Senator
Lowenthal. Okay.
I was his senior deputy for close to 8 years.
Okay.
And I left his office at the end of December, end of last year.
Okay. Well, good luck to you.
I left really to focus really 100%
On the
this
campaign.
on the campaign.
And that new baby you have.
And the new baby, correct.
And how old is that new baby?
She's a week old.
What's her name?
Her name's Isabella.
Oh my gosh, that's good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyway, Luis, thanks for coming in, and
Sure.
we're gonna keep in touch with you during the campaign, and we're gonna like I said, we're gonna put this on our website, LosCerritosNews.net,
Okay.
and just keep the dialogue open, and we really appreciate it. We look
Sure.
forward to also being able to maybe host a forum down the road with
We'd
Los
love to
Cerritos
do
Community
that.
News, which would be great. So let us know. We'll
That'll
keep
be
in
great.
touch.
You know, let us know, and I mean, we'd love to do it.
We appreciate it, Luis.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks for coming in.